Shout out Near Falls with D Hall's podcast.
Welcome to Near Falls with D Hall. He's talking on bars and how they win it all. Yeah, it's just Near Falls with D Hall. The final takedown, the glory or the fall. So loosen up, step on in, wrestle with the need to win. Talking Near Falls with D Hall. Ready or not, he's here to brawl.
What's going on, wrestling fans? Welcome into the final edition of Near Falls in the WPIAL for the 2025-2026 high school wrestling season. Of course, I am with my main man, Marky Gazanowitz. How are you, sir?
Doing well, brother. How are you?
Doing good. Another year in the books, my friend. Absolute madness at Hershey this past weekend. Super pumped up to get into all that. We have a couple of the WPIAL state champions due to come on the show this evening. So super excited for that, as Landon Sidun will be on in just a little bit. And after that, Mario Hutcherson of Kiskis will be on around 7:30, 7:45-ish. And then after that, we have Matt Taylor from Inside PA Wrestling as we break down or recap rather all the AA and AAA PIAA wrestling brackets. So gonna be a lot of fun. Cats, I will say this, buddy, as we're like doing our officials, I am not live on Twitter. None of us are. So I don't know if Twitter is a little banged up. I don't know if you want to send a tweet out that none of us are live on Twitter. You can find us on my YouTube, my Facebook, or my Instagram right now, but none of the Twitters are working. That includes Matt Taylor's. So it's interesting. But as we get into today's show, nothing more to say than, man, what another fantastic weekend at Hershey. Upsets abound. It's one of those places, man. There's certain kids that kind of catch a hold of everyone, and it's a lightning rod for positive or negative attention. We'll talk about that a little bit. I'm sure that you guys know exactly who I'm talking about, that being Mr. Keegan Bassett and the craziness that happened there at 121. There's just all kinds of stuff that we got to get into. Kaz, give me your initial thoughts of PIAAs this weekend.
Initial thought was, it was. I hate to just say awesome, because it was the Pennsylvania State tournament. We know it's going to be awesome. But I was there Friday and Saturday, and I thought it was electric. The crowd was great. You had kind of Bishop McCourt playing the villain in AA, so to speak. I shouldn't even say Bishop McCourt, kind of the Bassett brothers playing villain. And I'll tell you what, they soaked that up. The crowd wasn't crazy in their favor, and they embraced it. And I respect the hell out of that. I mean, you always hear, and that was actually one of my bigger takeaways from it, was that, like, you hear these professional athletes, they say, block out the noise. Like, they stay off social media, whatever it may be. And you see professional athletes not handle that well. Mm-hmm. And to see two high school athletes in the Bassett brothers kind of hear that same criticism in the Giant Center this weekend, that, pro athletes here, the way they handled it, I thought they handled it like professionals. They were pumping up the crowd. They were getting into it. They're feeding into it. They didn't let it get to them. I thought it was great. I respect them for it. I thought it was very mature how they handled themselves and how composed they were in what I would say is a hostile environment, at least when they were on the mat. So that was a big takeaway. I thought the maturity of those kids was big. And then the semifinal blood round was AA and AAA was absolutely incredible. I saw 4 or 5 of the best matches I've seen all year right up there with some of the matches that you and I have talked about, in the past. And it didn't disappoint. I thought that you had some upsets, you had some that weren't expected, you had a little bit of everything, and I thought it was perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said that pretty well, man. I kind of talked about it off the rip there. The Bassett crew, man, they were kind of the and McCord obviously were kind of the highlight of the weekend, and that Bo was wrestling Brant Hare, who we had many discussions about how we thought that was going to go. Newsflash, not newsflash, we all know how it went. Bo Bassett's pretty freaking good at wrestling, and you know what? His little brother is pretty freaking good at wrestling. So it's all in how they handled themselves, and exactly what you said, Kaz. That's so important because you can handle yourself bad, and then it leaves everyone kind of like a bad taste in your mouth. Yeah, they're pumping up the crowd, they like the booing, but guess what, man? You need some of those people in this world. It creates some attention, creates some
Yep.
emotions, good or bad, which is what our sport typically runs on. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of work their way into the college scene with Bo, and then how Keegan finishes his career without Bo here the next couple of years. But yeah, man. So I guess I would say here in a little bit we'll have Landon on. What do you want to get into as we're gonna do our recap when Matt comes on in a little bit later? Landon should be on here in about 2 or 3 minutes. Any other
Yep.
topics?
No, I thought it was obviously we had two kids win their fourth state title in
Yep.
Adam Waters and PR Dillard. So they added into that very short list of four-time PA state titles. It's tough to win four state titles in any state, but to do it in Pennsylvania, which is clearly the number one wrestling state in the country, there's not even a close second. I'm literally have my Twitter up right now. NCAA qualifiers by state. Pennsylvania has 50. The next closest has 28.
Not even
We can, yeah, we can put an end to the discussion that any other state compares to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. I 100% agree. And it always seems like this time of year, like states time of year where other states try to come in with these little videos on social media. It's like, oh, it's like, Ohio, PA, California, Illinois, whatever. But for me, it's not even close. And, it just proven obviously we have the highest end of competitors, which we're going to talk to one of them here in just a minute in Landon. But man, the depth in Pennsylvania is unbelievable. And Kaz, I'm sure you could speak on that. Just looking at the blood rounds, and of course, we talked a lot about it leaning up to the PIAAs. There's a lot of kids that are either, had a bad spot in the bracket or even sitting at home that had, a chance to place or do really well here. So, just deep all the way around.
Yeah, I mean, there's kids that weren't at this state tournament that if they were in the bracket, they would have been right in the mix to get a medal. It's just, their regional tournaments getting into the state tournament is difficult. So the depth is insane. And not only do they have the depth, you have the high end elite talent to go with the depth. I mean, that just, and we're going to, like you said, we're going to talk to Landon about it. His weight had a ton of depth at 121, like big time talent depth. And then you have the elite guys in there as well, with Landon and Morrison and some of these guys. Like it's disgusting. Our sport in the state of Pennsylvania is just fine. Just fine.
Special stuff. And I think we need to bring him on right now as we are talking about the high level individuals here in the state of Pennsylvania. And that is one of these guys right here, Mr. Landon Sidun. How are you, Mr. State Champ? Let's go, baby.
I'm feeling good. Yeah, how you guys doing?
Doing great.
Doing well, man. We appreciate you joining up.
Thanks for having me.
So we'll get right to it. Donnie, go ahead.
I'm sure we're on the similar thing, man. I'm sure I might steal Kaz's, but for me, talk about taking the loss right before the state tournament, figuring stuff out, ripping through the bracket, and win the state tournament.
Yeah, going back to regionals, I took that loss in the finals. Yeah, with this sport, how high level everybody is and everything, losses happen. So I wasn't really upset with it. I never make excuses. There were some things about that match, but just the next day we were in the room working little stuff for the following weekend. I feel like that paid off a lot into the state tournament. But that loss, same thing almost happened freshman year. It was almost like a deja vu moment. Like I see it like with the freshman year, I lost the WPIAL tournament, but it's like the regional then. It's just like, but what I feel like I do well with that was I don't really get down on it. It's a part of the sport. I was just excited that I had next week to come back and prove what I have.
We were talking about, your weight class. I thought 121 in AAA was one of the deepest in the state, if not the deepest. Just with you, the other WPIL guys, then you add in Amelie from Bethlehem Catholic and Morrison Gallegos. What your mindset going into the state tournament? How were you feeling?
I was feeling confident. Felt like all the training we did all year was very good, but especially prepared with how good Norwins' schedule was this year, going out the beast and wrestling Powerade. So it was like I got to wrestle the highest level competition in those tournaments. Then we got into the postseason. To be honest, it's not those. Everyone talks about the Powerades and everything. That state tournament and those regional tournaments, they're just there with them. That's how tough Pennsylvania wrestling is right now. But I just felt like just kind of really seasoned to these high level tournaments now that it's just like it's felt like almost another weekend, but it's always super exciting when you have to be on your game. It's not like, hey, you got one match against like this. Every round becomes you're wrestling the top guys in the state.
And I do want to give some credit to nothing against this wrestler, but I don't think any of us had Tommy Gretz picked as your finals opponent. And I think that shows, like you said, the section and the WPIAL tournaments, how tough they are, that you wrestled literally a section opponent in the state finals. So I'd like to give credit to Tommy as well, making his way through that half of the bracket, to face you. I think I know the answer to this, but if you wanted an opponent in the finals, who was it?
Like I would like to have that match back, but I was just every match there. I had to be prepared for everyone, so I wasn't really keyed in on one. I had to take care of my side to even get to the finals. There's so many great guys, but yeah, I would have liked to get that matchup again with taking, especially after taking that loss. But man, Tommy was really on it this weekend, and he was the best guy on that side of the bracket and made it through. So it was super. I was just really locked in and made sure I had to get that win back. But just super excited I got the state title.
Let's turn back the clocks a little bit, Landon. Obviously, you guys at Norwin had one of the best seasons of all time in Norwin's history. When you started your career at Norwin as a freshman, did you think that was a possibility? You guys wrestling in the state finals, you guys wrestling in the WPIAL finals. What was that like? And as the leader of the team,
Yeah, especially like the freshman year and everything. We didn't even make it out of the first section of the tournament. We lost first round, so I really didn't know too much of the team stuff until like, oh man, it's like, oh, it's cool, we're wrestling team. Then the following year, we finally kind of got like a little taste of it. My sophomore year, like we made it to the final four. Then we end up getting third to move on. I'm like, man, this team's really coming along, doing well. But this year, man, everyone really bought in. And it was just like this team had a lot of it was just solid throughout. Everyone was really bought in, and everyone sacrificed for the team. Everyone did their job, and it just felt like that showed a lot. Especially like seeing like how you said like this is the best this Norwin's ever done. I don't think they ever made it to the WPIAL finals before. Kyle knows all of the things. I'm not really too caught up on like what happened and what, but man, that was super fun with how the team is. But it's just like seeing how much growth we had from the beginning year. Like we had a couple like closer duels and like some of the guys weren't wrestling. But man, when they really needed to, the team was able to rise to the occasion and keep growing and growing.
Talk about how impactful your coaches have been. Obviously, your dad's in your corner, Coach Martin, Coach Smiley, Heath Coles, Kenny. Like you have a great staff put together. Talk about how instrumental they are for you and for your team.
Yeah, there's a guy for everything, it feels like. But they all work together. Um Kyle runs a very good system with everyone. Everyone gets us down. Then we have a coach, like you need something. They're all very helpful with everything you do. Everything is really true. Like they're not just, hey, they're just in there for practice. It doesn't matter what individual it is. We're every day we're getting better. It's not just they they hold us so accountable that everyone's getting better every day.
Landon, you could go anywhere you want in the country. Why Penn State?
Uh Real question is like why not Penn State?
There
Seeing
you
like how,
go.
yeah, seeing what's all going on up there is just, especially being a PA guy, man, super exciting. Like grew up all your life watching them, and then seeing like how watch the Big Ten tournament, how many of those guys are doing it. They're like winning every year, and those guys are just, they don't plateau there. They just keep getting better and better, and they're loving wrestling. And especially like I always liked Penn State before. Then when I got to go up to RTC practices, I really liked it. Then man, when I went on my visit to see like what the real college like what it's like, we were riding this golf cart around for it was the Penn State versus Oregon game. We couldn't even stop at a stop sign with people flipping out, taking pictures with the wrestling team because we were on the Penn State wrestling golf cart. They love wrestling up there. So it's just like it's something you want to be a part of.
So sticking with the college route, did you go to the Big Ten finals on Sunday?
No, we drove back on Sunday. We stayed the night in Hershey at the hotel, and we took home on Saturday.
What was your celebratory dinner Saturday night? Anything good?
Saturday, our hotel was right beside Five Guys. We stopped in there. We went there. Yeah. Then we just hung around the hotel. I went to a grocery store. My room was. I had the bet. Like I don't care what they say. Everyone on the team had a pretty good loadout. My room was stacked with everything you can think of.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
So you had two of your teammates also medaled in Jack White and Nate Clansmith. How you got to be happy and proud of those guys too, right?
Yeah, I'm super happy. It's just seeing like how much they've bought in this season, and it really paid off. Those guys were always in the practice room, just keep getting better and better. Nate Klingsmith he took some losses beginning of the year, but that man's a warrior, man. He just keeps battling through, was injured, and like couldn't be more proud when the lights were on the biggest stage, and he showed up the best he has all season at the state tournament. It's just super happy for him to get on the podium and everything. Then Jack White, man, that dude had a senior year. He put it together. Dude's awesome to watch and wrestling and everything. I'm just beyond proud and happy for him because all my life, even before we got on a high school stage, my dad runs the club. I've been wrestling Jack since I was 7 years old. So we kind of been through this the whole time, and finally see him like break out his senior year, go on and have a lot of good wins and get that state medal was awesome to watch.
Last question I have for you, Landon. You've done pretty much everything you can do in the high school world. What keeps you motivated to keep getting better?
My main focus isn't just the awards and everything. I gotta keep in the tournaments. In my mind, I gotta keep getting better every day. Like not crazy, but like every day I go in a practice room and if I can't figure something out, I won't leave. It's just like I need to figure it out. Everything's like I just want to keep growing, and like I don't like the feeling of being like comfortable. Not like in the practice room, like I feel like I'm not growing or getting better. Like I need to find something every day to keep growing, and especially because I got to get better for the NCAA coming up. 2 seasons, I'm gonna be up there wrestling the Big Ten, wrestling the best guys in the country and the world. So it's gonna be awesome. But that's what I'm do wrestling for. I want to be the best I can possibly be, and I feel like, especially being up there in Penn State, I feel like that's where I can see my full potential.
And last one for me, speaking of NCAA, so NCAA brackets are coming out here in about a half hour. The 133-pound weight class is fascinating with Sidel, Forrest, Davino, and Blaze. Who wins the national title at 133?
Man, I argue with Kyle and all them all the time trying to figure this one out.
This
One's
was the
so
question of the day at Burrell High School today. This was the question of the day that everyone was talking about.
This one, it's so hard because matchups are so different. It depends where, honestly, sometimes it depends where they're plugged into the bracket, man. It's
Yeah.
just who got to wrestle who. But man, just being a Penn State guy, I gotta go. Marcus is hard to beat, but so are all those guys. I'm just super excited to see. It's cool that it's a lot of freshmen, so you're gonna be seeing these
Yes.
matchups for years and years to go on. It's gonna be cool to see, but that weight class is so awesome because you're gonna be in the round of 16, and you're gonna
I have
see
no
like
idea who's going to
you're gonna
win
have
the
no
race.
idea. The one
Yes.
guy, and there's guys in that bracket we're not even speaking of that. That
Yeah,
dude
like
that dude from Purdue took out Bird last week. Like no one thought that. Like
yes.
it's just crazy.
And I mean, Drake Ayala's in there, who's a two-time national finalist, and Larkin. Like, there's so
There's
much
so many.
talent.
Got
Lucas
Seidel.
Bird, like it's
Yeah.
just it's insane.
Seidel is going to be in the mix. There's so many guys. Just thinking of
Did you watch the Sidel Forest match
yeah,
about a month ago?
yeah.
I
I
thought
watched.
that was
Turn the TV on for that one. That was cool to watch.
I thought
I'm
that
ex-
was one of the better matches I've seen in a long time.
yeah. Seidel came out hot. It's just they were wrestling. That's what's wrestling's going to be fun to watch a national tournament. Even they're all turned up. Imagine at the tournament when they got something to prove on the line. It's gonna be awesome to see.
Landon, anything else for us before we leave you go, my friend?
Cool. This season with just saying like the guys who won state titles this weekend was like Mario, me, and Elijah, which was cool to see because I have pictures of us when we were super young. We were all the same size,
I saw
practicing
that
together
picture,
every
dude.
day.
I think who posted that? Your dad or someone? That was an awesome picture, dude.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see because we were all the same size when like elementary. It's weird to think that we were. I don't know what happened to me out of all them, but it's crazy. But no, it's cool to see like a full circle moment, like all the guys I grew up with, or we were practicing all the time, or now he's a senior now. Elijah's gone, but me and Mario are still in it. But we're still we're out there winning, which is awesome to see and do.
Love it, man. Yeah, for sure. And them Hutchie hammers, they're problems. That little
Yeah.
garage. I've heard so many stories of like just a little garage. You get 8 to 10 kids in that garage, and they beat the hell out of each other. And guess what? All of them end up pretty good. And you're definitely an example of that. Landon, good luck next year. Good luck this off season as you're doing some freestyle, I'm sure. And can't wait to see you in a couple years, I guess, at Penn State.
Thank you for having me.
Yep, congrats again.
Thank you. I'll see you.
And that was state champ from Norwin, Mr. Landon Sidun. Kaz, initial thoughts of that interview. Man, he is not
Very
only
well.
impressive. Yeah, impressive on the speaking game too.
Yes, very, very well spoken. Not surprised by that. I know just how Norwin runs their program. Kyle Martin looks at the sport more than just actual wrestling, with their service projects. I know we've talked about that a lot. Like, he's trying to mold these kids into future fathers, husbands, how to do things the right way. And it doesn't surprise me that, Landon is the type of kid that he is at all.
And before we bring on Mr. Mario Hutcherson, I got to let you guys know. It's starting to get a little warm out there, Kaz. I don't know if you've broke out the sticks yet. I just broke
Oh,
them
they were out
yesterday.
yesterday, Donnie.
Me
They
too,
were out
baby.
yesterday.
Let's go. Yeah, baby. I snuck out. I actually played a little bit west of me in Indian Run, but if you're up north of me, and that is Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania, go check out Fox Run Golf Course. That is Fox Run Golf Course in Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania, owned and ran by a wrestling family from Beaver County. You know, some of the best in the business. You know, you want to take your kid there. It's just a great family atmosphere. Of course, you know, go support some wrestlers while having a good time golfing at a great course. And that is Fox Run Golf Course. All right, let's bring on our next guest. That is state champ Mario Hutcherson. Let's go.
What's up, guys?
Where's the snake?
They're all around me, but none of them are out right now. I could get one actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say, buddy. I was
we need a snake, Mario.
Yeah, when I came on after he won Powerade, I opened up the camera. Some bitch has a python sitting on his chest. I was like, yo, what is that? Wow. Look at that. There he is.
There he is.
Got it.
Well, first off,
champion python, right?
Yeah, that's it. It's the brand.
Well, first off, congratulations. Get your first, high school state title. And I know it was against an opponent that you kind of had your eyes on. I think we all know why. Talk about your mindset heading into the state tournament.
Yeah, the state tournament, it's a tough tournament, obviously. Just looking at the history of it, but I wasn't just focused on him. I was focused on making sure I'm doing everything right and making sure my preparation's good. And I just took it one match at a time and game plan for each person in a way. So it was just take it one step at a time.
Talk about your, obviously over at Kiskis, you guys wrestle a really tough schedule and, one of the best coaching staffs in the WPIAL. Just talk about wrestling for the Cavaliers. Obviously, you had a really good team this year, and just talk about that.
It's a very historic program, in my opinion. It's just, I would say the key thing that I find not different, but a big factor is like the family there. It's like everyone's very tight with everyone. Everyone's parents are all tight with each other, and it's just a very good family environment. And everyone trusts everyone there. It's the coaches trust the wrestlers, and the wrestlers trust the coaches. So it's a family bond is what separates us, in my opinion.
So how does it just feel winning that state title? You're the fourth state champ in Kiskis area history. One of your assistant coaches is one of them in Darren Miller. How's it feel to be in that group of four really big name wrestlers, McCutcheon and Reed being the other two?
Yeah, whenever I won, I knew it was a big deal that I won states, but after the fact, whenever I checked my phone and I got home and went back to school, I realized how big it actually was and how appreciated it was. It's still crazy to me, in my opinion, but I worked for it. So I knew I was going to be the state champion mentally, but it was just I had to go out there and collect them in a way. But my coach Darren Miller, he won it obviously, so he was giving me that pep talk, and he was talking about how good it feels and how he believes in me to go out and do it, and I went out and did it. So it felt really good.
Well, Kaz kind of talked about it off the rip there, but your last loss, I'm looking back at your statistics here, was Mr. Sumplemek. It looks like at Powerade. And since then, buddy, you are on a heater. I mean, just unbelievable, just torching dudes. What changed, or did something change? What clicked after that?
Nothing really changed, in my opinion. I mean, it lit a fire under me, but I always had that fire lit under me. It's just he took that match earlier in the year, and it showed certain positions where I needed to improve at because he's a very high-level kid. So it was just about where I need to get better at and where I need to develop at, where my coaches pinpointed the littlest things in that match that played a huge factor, I should say, for the rest of the year, and it really just helped me develop and grow up and figure out the best version of me can come out there for my matches.
So since Powerade, I've seen you a number of times. I'm blanking on the kid's name. Hoos, the kid from the New York that you would beat him at Powerade, and then I watched you
Tavia Hose.
beat the brakes off of him in the Fred Bell finals. I was commentating him for PA Power, and I said at the time that I thought that was the best match I've ever seen you wrestle in that Fred Bell finals, especially against a kid who's a multiple-time New York State champ. He's a top-ranked kid. Once I saw you do that, mentally, I said the rest of the state's really in trouble once individual starts off of that performance right there.
Yeah, well, my coaches set a very high standard for me, and they play a lot of not mental games, but they challenged me in every way possible. And after that match, they were very proud of me. But they should have been like they were like, you should have went out there and got that text ball, and they're right. And that little comments like that, I feel set me apart from everyone else because they believe in me and they believe I could do things that not everyone else could do. So a lot of the year was just my parents and my coaches just making sure I'm staying focused and not just getting caught up in all the hype or the dominating matches. It's just to go out there and just keep winning, keep finding a way to win. So that's what I did all year long.
You touched on it there just a second. Your parents, man, your dad, he comes up to me and has pretty much every tournament. I feel like one of the best dudes around. Just talk about it, what it's like to have parents like that to kind of support you and are in your corner for every goal that you set for yourself.
Yeah, both of my parents. I wouldn't even say wrestling wise. I would say the mental side. The mental side is, I think, mental is where it's at because they get depict on how tough you compete, how tough you train. If you're right mentally, then it's gonna set you apart from everyone else. But they play that mental game on me where it's you're not normal, you're not like everyone else, so don't act like everyone else, don't train like everyone else. But they got me here, so huge thanks to them, and they're not stopping. They're still playing these mental games, I should say, and I'm very thankful for both of them because both of them play a different role, and I'm just thankful for them.
Love that.
Now, your younger brother, Marco, 7th grade now, he is really freaking good for everyone else who doesn't know that. You're going to get to wrestle with him on the varsity team 1 year. You'll be a senior when he's a freshman. How much are you looking forward to being on the same team with him for maybe the first time in your career?
That year is going to be special. It's already being talked about this year with a lot of the guys that are coming up and a lot of the junior high guys. That year will be fun because I hope he grows up and gets bigger and catches up to my size so we can be training partners. And if we're training partners, then everyone got to watch out because it's not going to be good for our opponents. But yeah, I'm really excited for that, and he's one of one in my opinion. You won't find anyone else like him.
Mari, you were 189 pounds this year. Do you expect yourself to get bigger? Maybe a 197 pounder? What are you thinking, man?
I'm growing. I'm taking it day by day. I'm just getting big as possible. I don't know what weight I'll go next year. I have no clue. But I'm just lifting, eating good, and just wrestling. That's it. I'm not focused on cutting weight or starving myself like a couple people do, but it's just get stronger, bigger, stronger, faster, and that's what I'm focused on.
What are your plans for the summer, wrestling wise?
I'm gonna do the U.S. Open and hopefully not Fargo because if you win the U.S. Open, you make the world team. You won't wrestle Fargo, but I'll make the world team. That's my main goal. I have it pinpointed everywhere.
Oh,
so
I actually I have your world
There you
team
go.
El Salvador shirt on right now.
yeah.
Thanks to your dad for sending me that over. Is there gonna be a little golf this summer?
Last summer, my dad didn't get off in golf at all. He was locked in on starting this snake business, making it even bigger than what it was. But he golfs. Him and his buddies golf a lot. But we'll definitely get out there for sure, and I'll beat him for sure. So
I love it.
I always tell the story of the after you won the county title this year, and I said, could you take your dad? And you were like, in a golf or in a fight? And I said, well, I know. I know the one you can take him. I said, I want to know if you can beat him in a fight. And you were like, oh, that's easy work. I always think of that. I tell that story all the time. Good memory. Your dad's one of one. One of one.
I grabbed him one time the past couple of years. One time we wrestled. It wasn't even like a wrestling match. I'd say it was like I was wrestling and he was just fighting and he bit my back and I dumped him and it was wild. It was like cats and dogs fighting.
Yeah, there's still something about, even though you won the state, the old man isn't losing to his kid. That's just they're gonna bite, they're gonna punch, they're gonna do whatever they can, but they're not gonna let you get one up on them until you do.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. He's never gonna let me have that edge over him. He thinks.
Mario, what's your last question I have for you? Sorry, Kat. Last question I have for you. What's your obviously you have Fargo and things of that nature. How do you keep getting better, man? What's your future plans? Like, where are you training at this summer? What's that look like?
I'm gonna be training at Young Guns and in the Kiskis room, but I'll do a lot of traveling, headed to different like college RTCs, and I feel like the college RTCs are where I get a lot of improvements at because I get to wrestle like the better guys and learn newer techniques, and it's just being consistent all throughout summer is where it's getting better. It's not nothing special. It's just being consistent and just outworking everyone, in my opinion.
Any last comments from you? Anyone you want to thank? Any shout outs?
I want to thank my family, my coaches, and my teammates, and shout out Champion Pythons.
Same way into the last one. Absolutely love that. Mario, appreciate you hanging out with us, and we will see you real soon, my friend.
All righty. Thank you, guys.
Later.
Thank you.
All right, Kaz. What a stud.
Just holding that python, dude.
We had to get that thing out of there, right? I mean, come on. You can't. That's his thing. Like, I think, like, when he's, like, if he eventually goes and wins national titles, like we think someday, that should be his thing. Just sitting there with a python in his hands, like, on his chest, like, doing all the interviews. I think that would be cool as shit. I love it.
Like, what is it? Oh, Major League. What's the
Toronto. Toronto,
yes.
Baby. Let's go.
He's real religious, and to get out of his cold streak, he's got the python on his locker. I'm like, geez.
What was it, Jojo or Jobu?
Jobu.
Yes.
Jobu. Drinking the rum. Helping him to hit the curveball.
All time. All freaking time.
Such a good movie.
All right, let's play one more little thing from our sponsors, and we'll get ready to bring on Mr. Matt Taylor.
Hi, my name is Antonio Reyino, owner of Reversal Health and Wellness. I've been in healthcare for nearly 20 years and seen the effects obesity can have on someone's health. That's what inspired me to offer GLP-1 therapy at Reversal Health and Wellness. New evidence-based research has shown remarkable benefits of the therapy, including reversing fatty liver disease, improvement of sleep apnea, and slowing the progression of heart and kidney disease. And unlike national online companies, you won't get lost in the mix and you're not just another number. You'll receive a personalized treatment plan tailored to your goals and your health. And if you're not near Newcastle, Pennsylvania, no worries. Telemedicine options are always available. Also at Reversal Health and Wellness, we offer IV hydration therapy. We offer 7 different IV cocktails infused with nutrients designed to restore balance, boost energy, and support optimal health. Rather, if you're an athlete training for a competition, or a fatigued mother or two, or recovering from an illness, IV hydration will benefit you. We're located in Newcastle, Pennsylvania on Wilmington Road at the Maison building. You can either book online or call the office. Thank you.
And that was our friends at Reversal Health and Wellness. That is Antonio Reyino up there in Laurel, Pennsylvania. One of the assistant coaches for the great Laurel team. This year they had a great year, actually. Kaz, before we bring Matt Taylor in, let's double up. Talk to me about the golf course on your side of the city, my friend.
So Manor Valley Golf Course east of Pittsburgh, 15 minutes from Monroeville, 15 minutes from Murraysville, Export, Pennsylvania, owned by golfers just like Fox Run. Vince DiAugustine, head wrestling coach at Seton Hill University, is the owner of Manor Valley. 2 full-service bars, banquet hall, humidor, cigar room, full 18, and there are lights on the front 9 if you want to play a little night golf in the summer. Number of leagues, go check out Manor Valley in Export, Pennsylvania.
And that is Mr. Manor, or not Mr. Mayor, but Manor Valley Golf Course. Again, thank you to our sponsors for supporting us this year, as another great year is getting ready to come to a close. All right, guys, I sent that email over to Matty T.
Yes,
we'll get
I
him
do
on
have.
here.
I do have one thing I want to bring up.
Go ahead, shoot.
So I might have to. My screen. I'm doing this on my phone, and I have to read something from my phone. So you're probably not going to be able to see me for a second, but you guys will be able to hear me. I take it you can still hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
I just received this. NCAA qualifiers from the state of Pennsylvania. 21 are from the WPIAL. There are 21 WPIAL wrestlers at the NCAA tournament. The next closest district, District 4 in the state of Pennsylvania, has 6. That is the next closest. That just shows how good the WPIAL is. That they have 21, and the stat was just given to me. The WPIAL has more national qualifiers than every single state in the United States other than California, Ohio, and New Jersey.
Easy peasy, baby.
Yeah.
And this is kind of considered a down year. I mean, down time for us, right? I mean, remember when these particular kids were coming through high school? Yeah, we had some of the top end talent, but like the depth wasn't there. Like I feel like this group is that's coming through. This group is deep. Like we could see kids that, you know, you look at 114 this year in AAA was just madness. Bo Bassett's weight this year. Just we have so much to get into. First things first, Matty T, what's up?
What's going on, guys?
What's up, brother?
What's up?
Had some fireworks this weekend, huh?
Yeah, give me your thoughts, man. Give me your thoughts at PIAAs.
Fun tournament. It was real fun. AA girls, AAA. It was just a fun tournament. Saw some really good wrestling the whole weekend. A lot of controversy coming out of Friday night, but we'll get into that when we get to that weight.
I love it. And I'm gonna slowly load these up. I'm on. Yeah, we talked a little bit about it off the rip. The Bassett brothers obviously were a lightning rod this weekend. And yeah, here we go. Present. All right. What do you guys think? We'll do same way we always do. Double A to triple A 107 starting off.
It works for me.
All right, Matty T, give me your thoughts. 107 double A. Cooper Deputy, the #1 dude in the country, takes out Avery Panday of Trinity. I feel like we all kind of had this matchup penciled for the finals, and it comes to fruition, and both these guys are ridiculously good.
Yeah, Deputy proved how good he was this weekend. You know, not a lot of times you get to see some of these guys live, and I got to see Deputy for the first time on Friday in the quarters against Eisenhower, and just the control he had in that match. And you know, it's something that I'll talk about with like Music and Bassett when they wrestled in the semis, but you could tell that Deputy is just such a high level wrestler that Eisenhower, who's also pretty good, just couldn't compete there. So Deputy just showed that he was best in weight. Pandy is a very close second though. He really showed in this tournament how good he was. And Schumann, I thought he had a really good tournament too.
Go ahead, Kaz. I see your little daughter running around there.
Yeah,
man.
Kinsley's making a little appearance here.
Buddy, how old is she? Time is flying. I know I feel old when I say that shit, but still.
So Kinsley will be 4 in May, and Kendra just turned 6 months.
Oh my gosh, dude. Time is
Yeah.
flying. Time is flying.
Yeah.
Give me your thoughts. 107 double A.
107 double A. I expected. I mean, I think we all agreed that Deputy was the class of this division. But Pandy wrestled him well. We saw him wrestle well earlier in the year too. The depth here obviously was really good. I think I said it before. I didn't like Eisenhower's draw in the bracket because I thought if he was on the other side, he could have made it to the finals. He ends up taking fifth, dropping that match to Schumann in the Quincy semis. But just seeing the guys like Clip out of McDevitt taking sixth, I really liked this weight. Got to give credit to Crandall of Faith Christian. You know, he lost that first round match to Eisenhower and wrestles the whole way back for third and fourth against Schumann. That's one of those situations where, you know, you can wrestle 7 matches in this tournament, and Crandall was one of few who did by losing in the first round and wrestling his way back. So credit to him. But Cooper Deputy, man, holy shit.
He's special.
I mean,
and I've been hearing about him for years, buddies. I mean, like,
I don't think it's too early to say, like, this kid's going to probably be a 4-timer.
Oh, yeah.
He's next.
I mean, he's going to. I'm not sure who else. I'm not sure what it looks like next year. If there's any.
Unless he moves up and he hits like Karen Bauer at some point or something like
Yeah.
that. I don't see it.
I mean, you have Melvin will go for his 4th next year.
I mean, and this Pandy, like, I think in a lot of years, this Pandy would be winning the state championship. Like 9 times out of 10, he would be. So, like, to beat him in the
does
finals.
He win AAA? Does he win AAA?
Oh, let's look.
Dreschman or Carr.
Yes. Yes.
He's right there. I bet you it's a toss-up match with Carr and Dreschman.
It'd be close, but I would take him. Yeah, I think we're on the right path. I mean, he is the next kind of great one for me out of the state of Pennsylvania. I could see, you know, we're going to be old men here in about 10 years looking at this kid winning, you know, his 3rd or 4th national championship. But he's definitely special. And we're going to talk about his brother here in just a little bit. Let's move up to 114 pounds. Another weight class, kind of, for me, like kind of a 2-horse race. But, man, Bolger had a great tournament, making all the way to the semis. What say you, Cass?
Yeah, that quarterfinal with Bolger and Oberheim, that was really interesting to me. 2 really good freshmen. Bolger ends up winning that 5-0. But the finals match that I think we all kind of expected with Lotier and Karen Bauer, that was a heck of a match. One of the better finals matches in AA, I would say. Karen Bauer comes on top of 9-8 and gets his
Alex,
state
open
title.
up the door. Sorry, guys, I was muted there for a second. Just trying to get my dog upstairs. There you go. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you, Kaz. I do think it was kind of a 2-horse race there.
You were definitely not muted.
I wasn't. Sorry. I tried. There's a lot going on. Kids are coming home from gymnastics. Dogs fucking running around. Oh, effing running around.
Yeah, Tony.
Got another one.
Yes.
That's 3 in a row, buddy. We got to stop doing this.
3 weeks in a row, Donnie just lighting it up. Got the Yinzer shirt on too. That's fitting. I love it.
Shirt, bro. Yinzer Golf League, baby. They know who they are. That's the squads. Nothing more to say, but this match was an absolute dogfight. Happy for the Grove City crew to go out and get a state championship face Karen Bauer. And another one of those guys. I mean, we're going to talk about it with all these winners, all these finalists. They're all some of the best in the entire country, and Chase Karen Bauer is certainly one of those guys. All right, 121 pounds. Man, a lot to break down here. Let's just talk right into it. Let's start off. I think we got to even start off maybe one round before with Bassett's run. I mean, it started right here with this Boo Bash match. Go ahead and get into it, Matty T.
Yeah, I mean, Bassett was in a dogfight in that first match and probably should have lost the first match if you think about it. You know, another controversial call there in the tiebreakers, and then at the end of the third period too. You know, but Bubash was going to give him that run. That was one of those pigtails that were going to feed in that you knew was going to be a stumble for him. And then he kind of just moves through. He gets past Arnstead and then gets to that semifinal match. But you know, before I hit on that, like you go to the top half of that bracket with Santa Maria and Wolford. You know, Santa Maria, well, that was a dogfight there in the quarters. That kind of started Friday morning off pretty hot with Santa Maria knocking him out, and then Dingus he gets a win. So kind of 121 was everywhere at one point, especially Friday morning. Then circled back to the semis that night, and you know, Rothermel and Bassett, that was just a classic. Should have been the finals matchup, but you know, seeding's what seeding is, and kind of get into that kind of final sequence there where referee's out of position. Kind of should have been, you know, where he should, you know, he was anticipating something else, and that's kind of the thing you don't want in officiating. You don't anticipate the move, watch the action, and he was anticipating the reversal. Didn't see the back points. Kind of the controversy was, how do you give him back points at the end of the match? You know, I watched it back. I was there live, didn't have a good angle on it, but I mean, he should have got the 2 back points. If you watch it back, he should have got the back points. It's just how everything was handled there. It leaves a sour taste in the mouth, especially with the fans, especially in a match like that. That, you know, it was a good match, and to have it enter controversy like that, kind of it's a shame. And you know, the Boo Birds came out. I hate when that comes out in high school, but you know, that's the territory of it. It's a hostile environment there Friday night.
I think for me, Matt, watching it, I was watching it at home. And I don't know if you have a different take than this, cast. I don't know if they were necessarily booing Bassett. I think they were booing the ref. The ref either, you know, making the call and reversing it, or before that, let's be honest, Bassett was riding that leg, dropping down, riding that leg for 85% of the third period before that final sequence happened. Kaz, what do you think about that match, brother?
Yeah, I 100% agree with Matt. There's no question in my mind that those were back points. I watching it live, rewatching it again. I didn't have a good angle either. That's back points. It's clear cut back points to me. So, but I agree with what you also said, Matt, is the controversy around it. I don't think there should have been controversy. Like you said, the reasonings why. But yeah, you know, the hanging on the leg. I know you said the Boo Birds came out. I see both sides where I see, yeah, they probably are booing the official. But I think it made the people boo a little easier because of it being McCourt. And the fact that, you know, the day before Bassett and Bubash were in an absolute street fight of a match that ended in controversy. But like I said, all that being said, with the Boo Birds, the controversy, Keegan Bassett kept himself composed. He didn't let the arena get to him. He wrestled his match. He stayed in his own mind, and he got the job done. And for a 15-year-old, I'm assuming he's 15, a sophomore in high school, for a 15-year-old to have composure like that, it's impressive, and I have to respect it. I just do. I don't know how I would handle 8,000 people booing me when I was 15 years old.
I was going to say,
not as well
grown
as
men
he did.
booing you at 15 years old is kind of rough.
Yeah, and the way he handled it showed a lot of maturity and what's the word I'm looking for? Composure. So credit to him, and credit to his family for raising him and training him to be able to block that out. So I respect it. I do.
As we move up to 127 pounds, I think the last point I got to make, good on both Keegan Bassett and kid from, I'm blanking on his name, Karen Bauer, winning state championships. As those two battled, how many times did we watch those two wrestle over the last couple of years? And they both go out at two different weights and win state championships this year. So good on Chase Karen Bauer and good on Keegan Bassett, two state champions as two warriors. All right, 127 pounds. For me, this one, Kaz, I feel like kind of everyone had Freddie Bachman, but this weight was just super deep, man. There was just, you can go all the way down to even Cam Baker as a guy that has been picked to possibly win this bracket. Just loaded weight class. What do you think here, Kaz?
Yeah. Probably the most depth of any weight class at the state tournament, in double A at least. Anytime you have a bracket where Dom Deputy takes third, Baker takes sixth, and St. Cross takes seventh, that's a pretty good weight class. The highlight match to me was the Chunko Deputy semi. Chunko ended up winning that major decision 8-0. A lot of late points in that match, if I remember correctly. But Bachman gets the job done in the finals over Chunko. I know they wrestled in the regional final as well, and district, both District 11 guys. But I think we all expected the Chunko Deputy semis match to happen, and we all thought it would be electric, and it was. But just the depth here was incredible.
Go ahead, Matty T.
Yeah, I mean that quarterfinal there with Stewart getting that tech fall, that came out of nowhere. I mean, that kid, he came out Friday morning. I mean, his pants were on fire. He was ready to go. And, he had a controversy last year where he lost in the quarterfinals, and this year he came out and he wanted to prove, like, yeah, I should be at that level. And then you had the Canes Chunko quarterfinal match where Canes was in the lead for a good chunk of that match there. He had the 4-0 lead early, and it took the third period for Chunko to kind of start coming on, and that could have easily swung the semifinals a different way. Kind of highlighting everything, the lightweights and the young guys for Faith Christian, you go from 107 all the way up to 120, 127 here. That's why they won the team title this weekend is that they kind of had that Penn State mentality of, hey, you lose early on, but go place. And that's what they did. So kind of good on Faith Christian for the young guys to step up there.
I do have to say the two seniors in this weight in Deputy and Baker. Obviously I'm close to that situation being, a Burl guy. Those two have wrestled about 15 times in high school. They've all been great matches. They both just ended, Deputy's a 4-time state medalist. Baker's a 3. Baker should be a 4, but he, got injured last year. He would have placed. Two great careers from those two. I thought they both did a lot of good things for the sport of wrestling, and especially, Cam Baker, who I am close to. Congratulations on a great career to Deputy, and most importantly to me, Cam Baker.
Two of the best public school guys to do it over the last couple of years, that being Cam Baker and Dom Deputy. Moving on, 133 pounds. Will Detter goes out and gets his championship. Matty T, you talked about it on our preview show. You said you thought that Will Detter was going to have the tournament that he thought he was going to have the previous year as a junior. Gets the job done, wins 1-0 over Guano in the finals, beats Slicker in the semis from Hickory. Just give me your overall thoughts of 133 pounds, Matty T.
Yeah, I mean, the scores don't really do it justice because in those matches, there was no point where you thought Dieter was going to lose any of those. So, good on him having the tournament that he had this year. This is kind of what we all expected from him in the last couple of years, especially being a double Fargo All-American. So, really good on him to get a state title. He finally got that. Guano had a monster tournament for himself. He had tough matches all the way. That Hoyman quarterfinal was really good. That Wagner's semifinal match is really good too. That was on the far mat. I was trying to watch that one. That was a good match. But this weight overall, I thought, you had Detter up top, but competitive matches pretty much all the way through. Even in the consolations, they were tight matches. This is a weight that was pretty fun to watch.
Go ahead, Cass.
Yeah, Matt, I remember you saying, if Bradley Wagner was going to get to the finals, the gauntlet he's going to have to run through, and you called it. I mean, he needed sudden victory to win his first round match against Carlisle. Like, getting Carlisle when you're out of the pigtail is a brutal the first round match. He loses to Wagner. Or I'm sorry, he loses to Guano in the semis. But look at Wagner's already 8-5 sudden victory, 2-0, 6-0. Then his biggest win was his third and fourth place match in the tournament. But yeah, Dieter, a lot of close matches, but I don't think he was ever in a position to lose any of them. Probably should have, like you said, last year we thought that was his year he was going to win it. But man, did he look freaking good today or this weekend.
No doubt. Moving on up, 139 pounds. Cam Baum from Bishop McDevitt goes out and gets the championship over Gavin Green from DeLone Catholic. We see Owen McMullen come out and take third place, ripping through the backside of this bracket. Just impressive stuff after he takes a loss to Cam Baum. Just give me your overall thoughts on this one, Cass.
Other than Baum winning it, Matt said it last week, and I'll admit that I wasn't as familiar with it. Chase Boozer, that freshman, is a freaking problem, man. Holy shit. He's about 6 feet tall. Yeah, he's about 6 feet tall. I mean, he gave Baum an absolute dogfight in that semis match. I was really impressed with this freshman. That kid is going to be absolute hell to deal with the next 3 years in the state of Pennsylvania. But Cam Baum gets it done. 7-1, looked really good in the finals. The bottom semi with Yachiavello, Anderson, Green, Green gets it an ultimate tiebreaker. And I believe Yachiavello Andrews has beaten him like the last 3 weeks in the districts or in the regional semis, maybe the district semis, just with Baum being there as well. And Green coming out on top of that one, kind of avenging a couple losses to get to the finals to wrestle Baum. So I really like this weight. McMullen coming back, taking third after losing in that quarters match. But other than Baum winning it, Chase Boozer really caught my attention.
I have to agree 100%. And shout out to Drake McClure, one of my favorites out of Bentworth, going out and finding his way onto the podium. All right, 145 pounds. The premier matchup of the entire tournament that turned into not a premier matchup. I was dead wrong on it, but I wanted to pick Brant Hare because I thought, he could get it done. But man, oh man, I was texting with my brother afterwards. He was like, "You're wrong on that one, buddy." I was like, "Well, when you go against Bo Bassett, you got to expect to take a hard L sometimes." And that's what I did. And that's what Brant Hare did. Just what more can you say about Bo Bassett? He is so impressive. His pace is almost impossible to stop. All I can say is I can't wait to see him get to college and to see him put his hands on some of those college guys week in and week out. What say you, Matt Taylor?
Yeah, I mean, he dismantled that whole bottom side of the bracket, and that music semifinal was kind of going to be my litmus test to see if Hare could do it, because Hare and music hit in the state I think the state constellation semis, the team states. Yes. And that was a dogfight. That was a dogfight for those two. So I was kind of like, let's see what music can do. And music wrestled his ass off.
But
music wrestled his ass off. If you watch that match back, like, music was doing everything he could just to try to get points. He was in on shots. He was getting in on good single leg shots too. But Bassett just dismantled him, and it was like, I'm looking, I had my dad down there with me, and I looked at him, and I'm like, this is over. I told him the whole day Saturday, I'm like, I know what's going to happen. He's like, bet me. No, I know what's going to happen. I know what's about to happen. And that match in the finals, that didn't surprise me at all after seeing Bassett in the semis. He has that go. He doesn't know how to stop. Like, he doesn't know how to stop until that whistle's blown, and he just goes, and he proved a point. He wanted to wrestle him at team states. He didn't get the opportunity to do that. And I think that left a sour taste in his mouth. Like, yo, come on. Let's wrestle. I wrestle everybody. Come on, wrestle me. And I think he proved a point on Saturday that, I'm the best in this weight. I'm best in the state. I'm best in the country right now.
Yeah, and I would say, before I kick it over to Kaz, we'd be, completely dumb to say that Bo didn't hear the noise. I mean, everyone was talking about it. Everyone was posting about it. I feel like he wanted to go out and make a statement, and he surely did that. What say you, Cavs?
Absolutely. Bo Bassett texts everybody. Good wrestlers, bad wrestlers, mediocre wrestlers. He texts everybody. He can pin them if he wants. He chooses to go out, score as many points and tech. That's what he likes to do. The fact that, and I could be completely wrong. I'm not a psychologist. I think there was a little psychological warfare with Bassett to where he wanted a pin. Everyone always sees him text people. He wanted to make a statement and say, see, I tech everyone, but don't you worry. I can stick everybody if I want
and he
to.
rode too. Did you guys notice that? Like he climbed on top and rode. Like I feel like
Yes.
that's one of those things. Like we're like he just grabs the dudes, takes them down, releases them. We never really see him ride. I feel like he was like, "Listen, guys, I can do this too."
Yes, and he went out, and I think he wanted to make a point and say, "Here, I'm tired of hearing the noise that this is going to be a match, and I'm gonna end it as quick as I can in the most dominant fashion, and that is by pinfall." I have like no words for that because Brant Hare is absolutely incredible. He's going to be absolutely incredible in college. Probably going to be a multiple-time All-American. But that just shows how freaking, I almost did it, all freaking good Bo Bassett is.
And that was going to be my last point. Like Bo Bassett's this good. Let's look at what Brant Hare did in this tournament before he got to Bo Bassett. I mean, he smoked everyone. I mean, come on, guys. And it's not like we talked about it on the preview show. Matty T said it like, hey, if Brant's going to make the finals, he's got a little bit of a gauntlet. And it wasn't a gauntlet. He smoked everyone. And it's just more of what we're talking about. Bo Bassett, he went unreal.
17-0 tech in the first period over Gustis of Reynolds, who's a senior. 15-0 tech in the first period over a two-time state medalist in Garshnik. And then a 16-0 tech over Caden Judice. Holy shit.
Did you see the little extracurriculars after that match too?
Yes, I did. I didn't see it right away. I was wondering what was going on. I mean, Judice was pissed, but I mean, obviously he was pissed. He got tech 16-0. But
I watched it back. I don't think Hare knew what the score was, and when I watched it back, it looked like Hare was trying to keep wrestling on top and maybe turn him. And then the whistle blew, and he realized it, but he stuffed his head in the mat. Like he was gonna keep going. But what I found interesting there though was the quarterfinals. Hare had his quarterfinal match, and then Bassett was coming on the same mat after. And the two dads, they're both the coaches at their programs. They didn't look at each other. They didn't want to look at each other. There was definitely a lot of animosity going into that match on Saturday.
No doubt about it. All right, let's move on up. 152 pounds. Hold on. Come on. Kaz, this weight class was awesome, man. Hudson Homan goes out and makes the finals against Joey Bachman from Faith Christian. I really thought that Hudson had a really good shot to win this bracket, this tournament, but Bachman, just like the other Faith Christian boys, just a little bit too much and so stingy, man. He knows how to find ways to win, and it doesn't matter what the score is, what the match looks like. Them Bachman boys, they just get it done. Go ahead, Kaz.
Yeah, you got to feel for Homan here. Not getting that state title. He's a 4-time state medalist.
Two finalists, great 2-time finalist.
Yeah, gets his way to the finals as we all expected. Runs into Bachman. 1-0 match against Bachman. That's pretty good.
Couldn't get out.
Yeah. Homan a great career up there, at Grove City. But Bachman in the Faith Christian, Bachman going to go for his 4th title next year. But I just keep going back to Homan. He's been kind of the trailblazer for that Grove City program of recent. So it's tough to see him, but had a heck of a career. Jackson Butler, another one you got to give credit to, loses that first round match, wins 7 in a row, wins 6 in a row, and takes 3rd place, beating multiple guys that had beaten him. Even his first round, he lost to Cole Byler in the first round, and then Butler ends up getting him in sudden victory in the Concy semis, and then beats Kimmy of General McLean.
Go ahead, Matty T.
Yeah, and Butler got his get back on Saturday morning, hitting Byler in the Conti semis and clipping him in sudden victory and getting third. Byler had a really good tournament though. That was a tough one to get past. And then he just decimated Dalton Shadle in the quarters there. That just wasn't even a close match. But good on Clay Kimmy too, getting that upset there in the quarterfinals against Erdley. That was a real tight match all the way through, and Kimmy just pulled it out. I think it was a really late takedown, like 3 seconds left or something like that. It was, real late takedown. So, kind of entertaining weight, but Joey Bachman, he gets the job done.
Before we move on to 160 pounds, I got to tell you guys about one of the clubs that Mr. Hudson Homan trains at, and that is Quest School of Wrestling out there in 84, Pennsylvania. One of the best schools, not only in the WPIAL, not only in the state of Pennsylvania, but in the entire country, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Jim Akerley knows how to develop student athletes to be the best possible people they can possibly be. So if you want your son or daughter to grow in every aspect of life, go over and check out Quest School of Wrestling. That is out there in 84, Pennsylvania, just by Cannonsburg, Pennsylvania. Appreciate you guys. All right, let's move on to 160 pounds. Again, we see Mr. Melvin Miller, Bishop McCourt boy, one of the best dudes. Is he still number one in the country, guys?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
The number one guy in the country goes out and wins the state championship here. But hey, guess what? 5-4 in the finals against Reagan Milheim from Warrior Run. Matty T, talk about this weight class, man. Obviously, I feel like everyone had Melvin Miller, but I don't know if everyone had that final that close.
Yeah, and that was a tight final. But this was an obvious collision course the whole way. Those two just decimated this whole bracket. Mm-hmm. I kind of said like Tuberville, that was a really good matchup because Tuberville's pretty good and just blew them apart. Just nothing to it there. Tuberville comes out, he gets the takedown off the escape, and it almost looked like it pissed off Miller because he just came out and just no more. We're not doing that anymore. Semis, both these guys just kind of, it was a laugher in the semis. They both got off the mat early, and they had a dogfight in the finals. Milheim really impressed me in this tournament. He's a guy going to American following his brother. I think he's going to do some great things there. He really impressed me in this tournament. Another guy that impressed me was Shane Wagner from Faith Christian, kind of battle him back. He lost in the first round. He comes back. He gets 5th place. So had a good tournament there.
Go ahead, Cass.
Yeah, state champion rematch. Miller major decision Milheim last year, and then wrestles at 5-4 in a match that I thought Milheim wrestled really well. I feel like Milheim is maybe the most underappreciated, under the radar Pennsylvania state wrestler we've seen in a long time. The dude was a 4-time finalist. 4-time finalist, won it his sophomore year, 3-time runner-up. His only 2 losses his junior and senior year in the state finals to Melvin Miller. I mean, absolutely dismantled everybody, 195-10. And you don't, at least out I know, Matt, that's your area, but out here, we don't hear a lot about that area, especially unless it's coming from you. But just seems like an under-the-radar guy.
Yeah.
I know he's fallen his brother to American. I think this kid's bigger than American. I do. I really think this kid's a Big 10, Big 12 caliber wrestler, and who knows, he may find his way there. I'm very impressed by Milheim his whole career. But Melvin Miller, man, he's the number 1 kid in the country for a reason. But credit to Milheim for battling him like that in that final. And then 2 WPIAL boys here, Donnie. You and Olsen and Oven Ivsick getting on the podium. 2 seniors, and they wrestle each other for their last match of their career.
Yeah, and 2 guys that we've seen, as Derry's kind of turning the corner here and becoming one of the best teams in the state. Olsen was kind of like one of the first guys that kind of the new wave. Obviously, we've seen the Philippines and things of that nature for years, but Olsen kind of has led the charge, and good on him, man, to go out and get a 7th place medal over Owen Ipsick, another guy that buddy, I feel like Owen Ipsick's like 24 years old at this point. Like we've watched him for so long. And one of my favorite dudes to watch wrestle. So again, congrats to both of those guys. And I'm excited to see what they do in the future. Speaking of Dairy Boys, oh my goodness, did Mr. Mason Horwat have a tournament here? Just break it down for me, Kaz.
Yeah, I mean, I was getting in my truck to drive up to Hershey or out to Hershey, and I see the text from Matt saying Horwat's going to do it.
Me too. I was like, oh boy, I got to turn this on.
Yeah, and I think we all knew that was a possibility because of how well he wrestled Singer in the team state championships. Like I said, there's 20 more seconds in that match. Horwat might win that match. So am I surprised by that? No. But it's definitely a slight upset. And I thought Horwat looked really good in his semis against Wernsberger from Warrior Run. I feel like a lot of people had Wernsberger and Wenzel in the finals. I don't think that was a bad call. But Gage Wenzel, man, his championship performance, major decision was incredible. Maybe one of the, other than Bassett, maybe one of the best championship performances in AA over the weekend. But I'll tell you what, he had a barn burner in his semis with Gunby. He had a barn burner in that semis.
Go ahead, Matty T. I know there's a lot of guys from your area in this weight class.
Yeah, I mean, kind of circling back to that horror match, what a shin wizard that guy's got. I mean, he does not let Singer take him down. It was amazing how many scrambles they got into where Horwat just hit that shin wizard and Singer was in on some deep singles and he got the takedown in the first period. And then that late takedown there, that was just kind of a give up there. Kind of, no point in fighting that one off. But good on Horwat. And then I think he was really impressive in the semis. I thought he was going to do a little bit better in the finals against Wenzel, but Wenzel just came out and wanted to prove a point. Wernsberger, that Wernsberger Morel match there in the quarters was a pretty good one too. Mm-hmm. Two guys that are pretty high caliber in the state. They hit there, and that was a tight match. Takedown pretty much at the last second. I think if they did like the milliseconds on there, it would have been 0.01. It was that close for the takedown. That was one where they were kind of. It was at the end of the match. Both referees come together. And it was like, yeah, might as well give it to him. We call it on the mat. So, that was a good match there. Gumby had a really good tournament from Bishop McCourt. He had a good tournament last year. Has a good tournament again this year. Good, but good on Wenzel. He's had those battles with Milheim the last couple of years. Hasn't been able to get through him in the regionals, and it kind of gets a bad seed here in the state tournament. So good on Wenzel getting a state championship, kind of capping off his career. Looking forward to him at West Virginia. And
the other thing, Horwat barely got out of his first round match with Savage, 1-0. I know we had talked about it. That's a pretty rough first round match. Savage ends up taking 6th in the bracket, but Horwat beat him 1-0 in the finals. Or I'm sorry, in the first round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just an absolutely loaded weight class here, and I agree with you guys. Pretty much everything you said, Cash Morale, that's what I wanted to touch on a little bit too. And Wenzel's just a problem, man. Just Matty T, you know more than I do. Was he a little guy when he started, like a 107 maybe?
He was 145. His brother was a lightweight.
Okay,
and when his brother was a senior, yeah, he was 121 as a senior, and Wenzel came in as a freshman at 45.
Okay. I was wondering. I'm like, holy crap, is he big? I knew there was.
What was his brother's name, Matt? I'm drawing a blank.
Garrett? Gage?
No, this one's Gage. Oh. I forget. He went to Penn State.
Hold on, I'm looking.
I forget his first name. But I mean, he's kind of had the same. Both of them had the same career where it was, they were right there on the cusp. There was just two guys that they couldn't beat, and Wenzel in this tournament finally gets the job done. I always think Jake. I always think Jake Wenzel, but yeah, my future brother-in-law.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that, buddy. That's cool.
A couple months away.
That's wild, man. Okay, let's break down. Let's go into the next one. 189 pounds. Adam Waters so freaking good here. Brady Brown goes out and takes third, runs into Waters in the semis. Not too much to say here other than Waters is a dog. What say you, Cass?
Yeah, I mean, I think I fully expected this to happen. Um, I thought Waters may even win by more in the finals, 4-1. Kyle Scott wrestled a pretty good match at that finals. I mean, he didn't feel like a lot of kids wrestle Waters and they back away. They don't want to get beat too bad, which doesn't really matter. He's still going to dismantle everybody. But I thought Scott stayed in there and battled him, mixed it up. But Waters is a 4-time state champ for a reason, number one in the country. I thought that was the biggest story here. I think we pretty much all had Waters and Scott in the finals, Matt. And I think Brown was kind of everybody's clear number 3. At least it was to me, and that's how they finished.
Yeah, and Pensiero comes out in that first round, beats Harvey, which good win for Pensiero to come out, and that was one of those where you kind of expected that to happen. That was one of the pigtails feeding in. That was like maybe, but Harvey comes back, he battles all the way back, gets 4th place, loses to Brown there in the 3rd and 4th place match. Fugazato, he had a really good tournament. He had to beat two tough guys in Johnson and Pensiero to get to the semis, and then he wrestled Scott pretty well there in the semifinals that night. So, good on him. He kind of battled back there, got 5th place. Jaden Imler as well. He had a really good tournament there. He loses to Duke Martin in the first round. He battles back, gets 6th.
Yeah, like you said about Pensiero and Harvey. Pensiero beating Harvey out of the pigtail in that first round. Pensiero ends up not placing, and Harvey comes back and takes 4th. So, credit to Harvey for not kind of putting it in the tank after that first loss.
Yeah, and he just ran into that Imler buzzsaw. Imler, his first match in the Constellations, it was a pin, 14-0 in the second round. He teched Pensiero there in the blood rounds. I mean, Imler went on a run there on the backside.
Yeah, scored a lot of points. So a fall, then a 14-0 over Peak, Tex Imler, and then Major Strutchen. The kid found his stride on that back
there in the semis.
Yeah.
Pretty dang good. All right, 215 pounds, gentlemen, as it loads.
I think we all kind of had Bliss and Wiedemore. I think we all thought they're the 2 best in this weight. I don't think there's any question about it that they're the 2 best in this weight. And boy, did Aiden Bliss have Cale Wiedemore in a horrible spot going into that 3rd period of that match. Yeah. Bliss was so close to getting that thing done. I was pulling for him. The kid spends a lot of time, in the Westmoreland area in Lower Borough. The kid's just a freight train, man. I mean, he just blast doubles you, Yeah, he just blast doubles you. But credit to Wiedemore. He was down, what was it? Was it 7-0 or 7-1? And Wiedemore ended up, having a hell of a 3rd period. And then he just, kind of dismantled Erdman in the finals here.
Yeah.
13-1.
Yeah, guys, it looks like, if I'm doing my math right, 3-6, 6-2, 7-2 before Wade Meyer woke up, got a 3-point takedown, and then a 3-point near fall to end it with 25 seconds. But yeah, I agree with you, Kaz. I really was pulling for Bliss, a guy that, Port Allegheny guy, but another one of the Faith Christian boys, just too much. And more of the same here as we get into the heavyweight class, and that is Mark Effidian of Faith Christian goes out and wins the championship over Caleb Tyler. For me, I feel like Effidian was was the class of this weight. I picked White just because love me some Colin White. He ends up falling in a razor close match in the semis against Caleb Tyler from Fairfield. Matty T, just give me your overall thoughts of the heavyweight class in Double A.
Yeah, I mean, Caleb Tyler, he goes from, barely placing at I think it was district tournament last year. I don't even think he placed at district tournament last year to be in the state finals this year. And he went on a really good run. That Sotolono match there, that went in the tiebreakers. Those two just couldn't even get on an attack. I mean, Tyler's just a little kind of short, stocky guy. And he was giving guys troubles because of just his size. You can't ride him. It's really difficult to ride him because of how compact he is. And White wrestled a hell of a match there on Friday night. It's just, Tyler just had the kind of the size advantage where he could get out. But F and D, just high tier, going to Princeton, really good guy. He decimates his whole bracket. He does what he just did the whole year, and he wanted to prove a point this year.
No doubt about it. Okay. Before we move on to AAA, I got to let you guys know about one of my favorite places to grab a pizza, and that is Pizza Bosa downtown, owned and ran, of course, by a wrestling family. That is the Islamov family. Of course, Ramil Islamov down in West Virginia, Shamil Islamov, who wrestled for Baldwin this year. There's a couple Islamovs that are coming up that are cousins. Just a great wrestling family and a fantastic pizza shop right across the street from, I was going to call it Console Energy Center, but PPG Paints Arena. So if you're in the area, you're going to a game, go support some wrestlers and have some good pizza. That is Pizza Bosa downtown. All right. AAA, guys. Man, 107 pounds. Jacob Carr was the number one guy coming into this, and he goes out and gets the championship. What do you got to say, Matt Taylor?
Yeah, I mean, he controlled this bracket the whole way. He ran into a tough one there in the quarterfinals, and it wasn't really that tough because he decimated Bryce Thomas. Johnson kind of coming off of a run there, beating Moya, beating Jennings. Michael Johnson went on a run. It's like you guys said last week, just depends on which Johnson showed up, and the good Johnson showed up. But Carr took care of him. That finals match, 3-0, but it didn't really look like Carr was going to lose that. I thought Dreschman had a really good tournament, though. He ran into some tough guys in that Bagnell semifinal. That was a tough one. That was my bracket buster last week. Bagnell, good freshman there out of Council Rock South. But WPIAL had a really good run there at 107.
Go ahead, Cass.
Yeah, they did. Morley at Conestoga Valley was the 2 seed, didn't even place, in this bracket. He went 0-2, didn't win a match. He lost to Picotti, or Pashadi, however you pronounce it, and then lost to Quarry of Green Pond. So your 2 seed went 0-2. Very happy to see Dreschman as a freshman get into the state finals. I'm going to have a great career. Happy for Michael Johnson and Jennings as well. Or I'm sorry, Bryce Thomas as well. Jennings kind of in the mix here as well from Trinity. The WPIAL had a good weight here. I heard something, and I'm not sure if it was true. I was told that Jacob Carr tore his ACL, like celebrating with his coaches or whatever as this match ended. I don't know how true that is, but somebody had told me.
Who was the kicker that did that back in the day, boys?
Grammatica.
Yeah, I was gonna say Martin Grammatica, right? Oh my goodness.
So I hope Carr is okay. I don't know if it's true, but someone told me that after the match over, he ran to his coaches, as they all do. They celebrate. He tore his ACL. I'm not sure how true it is, but hope he's okay. But yeah, had a hell of a tournament there. And then Foltz out of Palmyra. We've actually got to see him a couple times this year, which is unlike a lot of these kids, just because Palmyra comes out to our side of the state a decent amount. But overall, really good weight, and happy that you got a West A boy on that podium, Donnie.
For sure. Super pumped up for Mikey Johnson to go out and take top 5 in the state. Had a great weekend. Touching more on your Thomas and Foltz, that was the 7th place match was a rematch actually of the Moon Duels, and Thomas goes out and beats Foltz. Foltz beat Thomas at the Moon Duels. What was it, December, 2nd or 3rd week of December? So wild how it all plays out as we get to the end of the year. But yeah, man, gotta give some love to Michael Johnson, able to after a tough regional tournament. I don't think anyone can deny that. Kind of puts his head on straight, makes himself into the semis, and then goes out and takes 5th place. So good on him. And again, this weight class was very, very loaded by the WPIAL. Even Jennings, I believe, was he a blood round guy? Yes.
He lost to Corey. Lost to Corey 6-2 in the blood.
Yep. And then he would have wrestled Thomas after that. So
would have wrestled Bryce Thomas for the 9th time this year.
Yes. I was just going to say yes. All right. Moving on up. 114 pounds. For me, man, and I'm sure Matty T, you can start us off. One of my favorite weight classes here this weekend. Just absolute madness across the board.
Yeah, I mean, the quarterfinals are fun to watch here. Yeah, you had to start off Wenrich. He had a tougher match than you would have thought against McFarland. McFarland wrestling pretty well. Sagata comes out with 4-1 Sun victory win over Rehack. That was, those two were pretty equal. That wasn't a fluke takedown either. Sagata got in pretty deep and got him down. Benyo had the tournament run of his life. He beats Dylan Barrett in the first round. He beats Powell. Then he beats Muller there in the semis. Benyo goes on, a hell of a run to get there. Kind of disappointing for Thunderbeard, though, because it seems like every year it's the same story with him where he gets to the state tournament, he looks really good, and he just starts running some buzzsaws, and he dropped a match there to Dara there in the blood rounds, and it was kind of unfortunate Beard couldn't place here.
Yeah, I think a lot of us had Beard on the podium, that's for sure. Kaz, Dylan Barrett, the squirrel, goes out and takes 4th place, a guy that was kind of, you took some losses this year. We weren't really sure what we were going to get. Goes out and takes 4th place. And, one little more shout out as we talk, Zach Rehack also placed, Bo Fennick placed. But another guy out of the WPIAL who we kind of all had on the podium ends his career a little early with an injury, and that being Nico Capusto. So speedy recovery to Mr. Capusto. But, man, guys, great showing from the WPIAL here, brother.
Yeah, Barrett. Barrett takes 4th. Rehack and Fennick wrestle for 7th and 8th. So happy for those 3. The Thunderbeard thing was crazy. He ends up the way he got pinned by Mueller. And Matt, you were there. He was going for a Jonesy, and he had it locked up. And when he rolled through on it, Mueller kind of just sat his hip, and it wasn't like it's not a defensive fall, but it's just a weird dynamic how it happened. But he was rolling through on a Jonesy, and Mueller kind of just sat on it and stuck him, and then he
just mid scramble just got him.
Yeah, and then he goes down and loses on literally a last second reversal or takedown in the blood round. But I was happy for Barrett being the senior, finishing his career off. He had a black eye that covered his whole freaking face.
Yeah.
He wore the mask the first match, and then pretty much said fuck. He said fuck it after that.
That's exactly what he did, though. I mean,
he took it off. Yeah.
Yeah, he lost that first match, and he said, "I'll just go with it without the mask and just go with it."
And I know I'm biased, but I don't know if that was 2 back points that Benio had on Barrett. That was close. It was close.
Yeah,
but nonetheless, that was a really good first round matchup. I mean, shit, they wrestled in the first round and they both took top 4. You put Barrett somewhere else, who knows what happens. But the Benio kid, like Boozer, I haven't seen him. That is a really big 114-pound kid.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the length is impressive. But overall, happy Barrett, ended his career with another state medal. And, Wenrich of Northampton, though, man. Oh, 2 more years of that.
Problem. 121. All right. We talked a lot about this when we had Mr. Landon Sidun on, but Landon Sidun takes a L in the regional finals, and then I think it was you, Kaz. You were like, he's gonna turn it up another notch, and he certainly did that. Ripped through everyone. Sure, he answered it very politically correct or PR trained. when you asked him whether he wanted, that rematch in the finals. But if you gave him some truth serum, I know he wanted that one in the finals. And he was certainly on fire all weekend, including beating Gretz in the finals. Gretz, again, fantastic. Gretz might have been even more the story making the finals than Sidun winning the finals. So what say you, Cass?
Yeah, I mean, Gretz took what, fourth in his section?
Yep.
Third in his section. I mean, Sidun and
I believe fourth.
Capusta were 1-2. I don't remember who won the Colangelo.
I'm on it.
I want to say Colangelo finished ahead. I think Colangelo beat Gretz at sections for third and fourth. I could be wrong. Either way, Tommy Gretz, man, I gave him a shout out when we were talking to Landon. I mean, 5-0 over, I'm sorry, 5-0 and over Helm, 5-4 over Schaefer, 4 over Kikilo. And then the semis went over Gallegos. Man, went on a hell of a run, and then not much he's going to do in that finals match with Sidun. There's just not. And Sidun went out and won 17-0. So credit to Sidun. Sidun's semis match with Morrison was a heck of a match. 7-6 and tiebreaker 2. That was probably my favorite match of this bracket. I will be remiss. Do got to give some shout out to Nico Capusta. Got injured, came back, and then ends up losing in the blood round. Capped off a really good high school career for Nico at Hempfield. Wish him the best. But Sidun, we talked about it. Just I expected that from him coming off that West Regional, and he took care of business. So congratulations to him.
Matty T.
I mean, that semi was a dogfight, though. Morrison had as much opportunity to win that match than Sidun, and Sidun getting that reversal there in tiebreaker 2 because he got ridden out, I think, the whole period for the first tiebreaker, I think. And then when he rode out Morrison.
He went underneath for period 4 and got ridden out, and then it looks like Morrison maybe took top. If you guys have seen that right on the screen, I mean, you tell me. Reversal bottom and then reversal, right? So
yes, and
period 4 would be sudden victory. Bottom is
you're right.
Yeah,
guys, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, because I think that happened in the first one.
Dogfight. You're right, 100%.
Yes.
But I mean, Sidun, great tournament. I thought Morrison was going to win that match for a little bit there, and especially there in the third period, he started getting some momentum. He got that takedown there to tie it up. I thought, this might happen tonight, and but Gretz, props to him. Just what a tournament! I think if they would have went out there at 11:30 after all the consolations on Friday night, I think he might have gave Sidun a run, but that is what it is.
Matty T, you touched on it just a second. I got to give a little 2-second rant. That was ridiculous how late they wrestled there. What was it? Friday night? Absolutely ridiculous. There's absolutely no reason why these kids are wrestling potentially the biggest match of their life at 11 o'clock at night. That's bullshit. Absolute bullshit. So, we crushed PIAA enough on this show. Everyone knows that that's, crap, but I got to reiterate it. It's no world would that make sense in my brain. None. Sorry.
Shit, I'll add into it. AA shouldn't be wrestling the state quarterfinals at freaking 8 a.m. either.
Nope.
It shouldn't happen. Wrestling a state quarterfinal at 8 a.m. Half these kids aren't even at school at 8 a.m. yet.
As always, we know how it always is. Is it kids or money, boys? Kids or money? Which one's more important? We all know.
I'm in a good mood though. I'm not gonna.
All right, 127. Moylert of Cedar Cliff goes out and gets a championship over Albanese of Emmaus. Sloboda takes third. Interesting weight class here. Sloboda was the guy out of the WPIAL we thought could do some damage. I believe I picked him to go out and win a state championship. Falls in the quarterfinals to Linza. Matty T, break down this weight for me. Is he frozen? Kaz, for you too?
Yeah.
Okay. Kaz, break down this weight for me.
A lot of depth here. Williams, a defending state champ, up top. I'm from Central Bucks East. Milliard looked good all year. Albanese, you had Salamone in here. Like this, there was some depth here. Milliard comes out on top. I found out after that he has a torn rotator cuff in both shoulders. Probably had surgery this week, from what I was told. But the depth here was insane. Tansini takes 7th from Perkiomen Valley. The Sloboda, credit to him, he lost that match in the quarters to Lianza 9-2, and then he comes back and beats Lianza for 3rd and 4th. So capping off a good career there for Sloboda. But Moliart, takes care of business. And then I've been very excited to talk about this weight class, strictly because of the Declan Barr, Alex Menser pigtail match. Matt, you and I were going back and forth texting as this match is going on. There were 3 unsportsmanlikes, like 4 stalling calls, not one. I mean, it was. And Matt, I told you, I saw it the week before. Declan Barr's going to make it interesting. And
I was ready for him to fight.
And you can take the word interesting and take that how you want it. Interesting can mean a lot of things, but that is the word. It's something interesting is going to happen. And holy shit, did it.
Yeah, it's funny because the coaches, they're out in the center of the mat too. They're trying to hold both of the guys back as Menser wanted to get into it too. And then I'm thinking if Barr starts trailing there Friday afternoon there in the consolations, you might see him just start throwing hands down there too.
Just madness, absolute madness for Barr. I lost you as we were getting ready to break down, your overall thoughts. Just give me your overall thoughts on this weight class there, Matty T.
Yeah, I mean, very interesting weight class. Yeah, Muller come flying through there. That's William Salamone quarterfinal match there. That was dogfight. I thought Salamone was going to pull that off there, but William just a little bit too kind of that experience of being a state finalist. But Muller pulled that out in the semis and got the job done over Albanese in a tough match there in the finals.
Somewhat, I gotta post this. Start talking about the PIAA and they started to freeze out math. That's some good stuff.
No, I'm getting all those thunderstorms that you guys got earlier in the days, and that started rolling through, and I was like, uh-oh.
It was raining cats and freaking dogs at school today. Holy shit.
Yeah, I was getting in my car leaving work, and I got the tornado watch or whatever. So, yeah, just a little bit.
A student asked me, like, are we getting out early today? I said, no, go back to class. It's raining. Relax.
Oh, man. They would have never when we were growing up. Remember we had to watch the ticker to see if we were getting out of school underneath on the news?
Yeah.
Man, now these kids just get a text. It's crazy.
They go back to class. It'll be all right.
All right. 133 pounds here, fellas. Keanu Dillard goes out and wins another state championship, this time beating Wilmot Kai for, I don't know how many times they've wrestled. It feels like a lot. I picked Wilmot Kai. Even though he lost this, I fully expect Wilmot Kai to be a complete problem whenever he gets to college. He is so many tools. He's so long. He's so fast. He gets the legs. I can't wait to watch both these dudes in college. What say you, Cass?
Yeah. These two are on a collision course to meet in this final. Dillard gets his 4th. Do we know where Kai's going to college?
Nebraska.
Okay. I agree with what you said. He's long, he's athletic, and he's newer to the sport. He's a late bloomer into the sport. I for some reason, I want to say he only started wrestling in 7th or 8th grade. A very entertaining 1-0 match. Dillard did a hell of a job riding him out in that 3rd period. Did a really good job there. I was very impressed with Keanu Dillard. Dillard had his hands full on Friday night into Saturday. I mean, back-to-back 1-0 wins in the semis and finals over, district opponents of his, and that freshman in Caleb Costco that we kind of all talked about and knew he would be right there in the mix. But, Dillard getting his 4th, very, very impressive.
What say you, Matty T?
And you look at that Northeast region, they all finished top 4.
Yeah.
You know, you had I think what was Northeast 5 Summer. He was close to placing too. If he didn't have to run into Whitney. Whitney went on a run there on the backside. He lost to Weaver early, who made it to the semis, and then Whitney just rolled through, beat Costco there in the 3rd place match. Costco really impressed me. He looked really good, especially against Dillard. I thought there was a point in that match where I thought Costco could win that one, and but Kai, his semi match, that was quick. That fall in 236, he controlled that match the whole way. Tall, lanky, he just gets the job done there. But Dillard, good on him, just riding him out the whole 3rd period. Doing what you have to do there to get the job done in the finals.
100% agree. All right, let's move on to 139 pounds. And before we do that, I got to let you guys know about one of our friends. This one is down 51 Pennsylvania in Jefferson Hills, and that is D1 Wrestling Club. Owner is Mr. Snapper, Mr. James Fleming, one of the best dudes in the business. Just really a savant. I love talking to him. Every time I get in a conversation with him, he's just like, he's really breaks down wrestling in a completely different way. Obviously, one of the best dudes on top to ever do it. So if you want to get better this offseason, go see James Fleming down at D1 Wrestling Club. All right, fellas, 139 pounds. Dalton Winter goes out and wins the championship over Aiden Herndon. There was a bunch of guys that I thought could win this weight class, but Winter ultimately came out on top, and he continues his dominant run from the week before, where he beat Collier Hartman as well in the finals. Just impressive stuff for Mr. Winter out of Cranberry. What say you, Cass?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. Him and Hartman had a hell of a West Regional final. And Winter gets the job done. Tiebreaker 2 over Herndon in the finals. Top side of this bracket, Matt, I believe you brought it up last week that not the ideal draw for Blake Boyer being the 1 seed. Dillard gets a 5-4 decision early, and then Dillard takes out Boyer in tiebreakers in the quarterfinals. So a tough draw for your 1 seed there, getting Dillard. Dillard comes back, takes 4th here. Hartman was your only WPIAL finisher, taking 4th. He's heading to the Naval Academy. But bottom half, I didn't catch the Wolish and Herndon semis match. I know it went to sudden victory. Looking at it, I didn't get to watch it. I was tuned in to a different match there. Bencho of West A, Donnie, I did watch his first round match. I thought he gave Trey Wagner from Northampton a really good match in that first round.
Yeah, man, he's coming along. Gotta give a shout out to Thomas. He does things the right way, and he is finding his way. You guys know how it is, man. It's different when you're on the bookends. The 107, you get a lot of freshmen and stuff. The heavyweight class, when you're a senior, it gets to be a little bit easier. But these middleweight classes, when you're a young buck, it is no joke. You're full with, it's just the depth is crazy. So, yeah, I got to give Thomas a little bit of love, man. First time he ever made the state tournament, and I fully expect him to, continue to get better, as he's one of Troy Regar's favorites, and you know how hard it is to be on that list, Cass.
Yeah.
All right. 145 pounds. One of our WPIAL champions, I'm going to have him on the show tomorrow, or on my channel tomorrow. I'm going to post it on YouTube, as Mr. Kai Vielma of Connellsville goes out and wins the championship over Aiden Coons of Central Mountain. I don't know about you guys, but for me, this one was kind of Kai Vielma next topic, and he wrestled like it. Go ahead, Cass.
Yeah, Vielma beats Coons. All 3 of Coons' losses this year are to Vielma, 5-2, 5-2, and 4-0. So credit to Vielma, your state champ here. The semis match that he had with Dennis, very, very dominant. by major decision. Kind of expected Coons to get there. I shouldn't say kind of expected. I thought him and Jack Campbell was going to be a really good quarters match. Coons actually, what, 7 or 8 to 1 in that match, so pretty dominant.
Uh-oh. Frozen, Cass.
I'm frozen.
Oh, now you're not. Go ahead.
Good.
No, you were talking about the Jack Campbell Aiden Coons match, 7
7 or 8 to 1. Coons won. Yeah, I thought Campbell would be in a good position to win that match, but Coons looked good there.
Go ahead, Matty T.
Yeah, I mean, and Coons had a good run in that tournament. His semifinal match was he blew out Grossman. Real dominant win there in the semis. He looked real good. I thought he could have had the opportunity there to beat Vilma in the finals, but Vilma's just too much. Vilma, he ran into a little bit of trouble there with Francis Burke in the first matchup, and I kind of thought that would have been one of those, if he got Korniev or if he got Burke, that was going to be a tough one to hit in the first round. But he took care of business the whole way through. He didn't look like he was going to lose in any of the matches, and just a dominant performance by him. Good way to cap off your junior season heading into your senior season.
And another guy adds to that lengthy list of state champions over there at Connellsville. All right. Gabe Ballard goes out and wins this championship at 142 pounds, but I think the talk of this bracket might have been Mikey Ruane ripping through this bracket and making it to the finals. What say you, Matty T?
Yeah, Ruane had a hell of a tournament there. He did quick work there of Spouts in the first round, and then beating Knox. He looked pretty dominant in that match. It didn't surprise me they beat Longenberger. Longenberger had some tough matches all the way through. He had Lily out of Connellsville. He had Cade Campbell there out of Nazareth. So he had a tough run. So getting to that match there on Friday night was going to be tough for him. But kind of, again, Ballard just ran this whole bracket through, and he looked unstoppable the whole way. I think his toughest match is probably the Owen Campbell one in the first round.
And shout out to Owen Campbell, a guy, I don't know, before I cut you off there, Cass. I think one of the guys that, if we had to give out a most improved wrestler from last year, he'd be on the short list, Cass.
Yeah, absolutely would. Kid had one hell of a senior year. Avenged one or two of the losses that he actually did take this year. And really turned it on in the postseason. Especially at that WPIAL tournament where he'd beaten Griffin Reed of North Allegheny, somebody who's gotten the better of him earlier in the year. But yeah, Campbell gave Ballard his, closest match of the tournament here. Tough to see Owen not place here. I would have really enjoyed that for him. But still had a really good senior campaign in Owen Campbell. But Ballard, man, 17-2 Tech over Whipwreck in the semis. I mean, I thought that was I figured Ballard was slightly favored. I didn't see 17-2. I mean, Whipwreck is really freaking good. He has 2 wins over Ruane this year. Happy for Ruane to make it through the top side. He looked phenomenal in that quarters match. But Ballard just a little too much in that final, major decision. Ballard gets his gold medal.
Moving on up 160 pounds, we see Gavin Campoli from Altoona go out and win this state championship at 160 pounds. He beats Schechterly of West Scranton in the finals 9-3. For this weight class, Cole Gibbons, the lone place. Well, no, Jack White sneaking down there in 8th place. I'm sorry, Mr. White. 2 guys get on the podium here for the WPIAL. But Campoli, man, just a little bit too much all the way through. Beats O'Brien in the semis 4-2. Just talk about his bracket and just ripping through it there, Cass.
Yeah, I picked him to win this based off of what I saw at the West Region. I said he was the most impressive one that I saw in the West Regional Finals. What he did through that bracket was phenomenal. I'm not surprised he won this. He looked just as good at this tournament as he did at the West Regional tournament. The the Gibbons Schechterly quarters match. Schechterly only, he beat him 2-1. If Gibbons wins that match, I think Gibbons is in the finals here against Campoli or Ciampoli. I always thought it was Campoli, and then when they induced him, it was Ciampoli. So I'm not an English teacher. So
That's like Sidun was Sidun there down in the Giant Center.
yeah,
That
they were
kinda
calling him
confused me there.
Sidun. I'm like, where are you getting un? It's not a double O, and there's not an E after the UN. It's Sidun.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, listen. I mean, I'm not going to pile on the Piata. No, I ain't. If we're
Get
asking,
him, Donnie.
if we're asking if Piata ways making sure the names are spelled right and they can't even worry about the kids getting home on time, I think they ain't worried about the name being pronounced right, not spelled right. But yeah, F them motherfuckers, man.
But how do you mispronounce the number one wrestler in the country's name?
It's not that difficult, man. You make one phone call, or you go up to one of the coaches, one of the 10 coaches that Norwin has, and say, "How do you pronounce his name?" It's not that difficult. Whatever. All right. 170.
But they got Schechterly correct.
McCaden Spence of Wilson goes out and wins this championship at 172 pounds, beats Chris Dennis from Central Buck West. Teek Sanderson, the son of Cale Sanderson, you guys might have heard of him, took third place here in this weight class. I don't see any WPIAL boys here, Kaz. Just talk about 172 pounds.
Yes, Beast ran through this bracket as the number one seed, had a really tough quarters match with Corp 2-1, and then overtime, sudden victory overtime in the finals. Sanderson gets his way to the semis here. Spieth, kind of the senior versus the freshman dynamic there, especially at a weight like this. A senior at 172 pounds is a grown man. A freshman at 172 pounds isn't a grown man yet. Even though his last name is Sanderson, you're not a grown man yet. A senior, you are. And I think that was the difference in this match. But give it a year, Sanderson's going to be a grown man really soon. In this weight class, it needs to watch out the next 3 years. He may get bigger, I don't know, but wherever he's at, that kid's going to be a freaking force.
Freshman at 172, boys. I mean, he's going to be.
So,
what do you think? What as a college guy? I mean, he's looking at an upper weight, a big upper weight.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
So when I watched him against Elijah Simak in the quarterfinals, I'm watching it and I'm thinking, man, I've seen this type of wrestling before, and I started thinking, oh, that's Carter Starachi right there. The way he wrestled, kind of the mannerisms, the way he walks around. I mean, he's got it, and you just see in that Spieth semifinal, Spieth, he's been doing this a while. He's a senior. He's bigger, stronger. Kind of dispatched him, but then he gets down in the bottom half. He beats Bird, which was a good one. He beats Vrabel, who was a good one. So, he got the job done. He looked pretty good the whole tournament. Spieth finally gets the job done. He gets a state title, so good on him. Kind of good tournament there though for Chris Dennis. He ran through that bottom half of the bracket. Had a tough one there with Vrabel in the semifinals, but got the job done. Got second.
No doubt about it. All right. 189 pounds as we see another WPIAL boy who we had on the show just a little bit ago. After the show's over, go back and check out that interview. Had the freaking ball python in his hand. Kaz and I were talking about that. I'm sorry, that's got to be his thing. And that is Mr. Mario Hutcherson goes out and wins a state championship here at 189 pounds. His first state championship. Matty T, I don't know if you were able to catch the interview or not, but just talk about Mario Hutcherson. Man, is he impressive for a sophomore.
Yeah, I mean, he looks really good. He looked good last year as a freshman at this weight. Or I think, what was he, 172 last year?
Yep,
this year. He looks really good, for a young guy at this weight. He looks like he's a senior, to be honest with you, the way he goes out and wrestles some of these guys. Spielman's pretty good. He dispatched Zerker there in the semis, which Zerker is really good this year. And he looked good in the finals there against Sempolik. Sempolik had a really good run there on the bottom half. Kind of, you saw this one as a collision course. with some Pollock and Hutcherson getting to the finals there. But an interesting one that I kind of pointed out was, like Collins there, he just came so close to getting a medal there for Canamac.
No doubt about it. And he's the guy. I think, is he a freshman or a sophomore, Cass? The younger one.
Collins, he's a sophomore.
Sophomore, okay. But the older one, who we're going to talk about right now, obviously Elijah Brown goes out and wins this championship. We're not going to bury the lead there too much. Goes out. He had a hell of a time getting there, beating Dean Bechtold 4-1, then beating Paxton Hunt 1-0 in the championship there. I don't know if we all fully expected Brown to win. I mean, dude's going to Penn State, one of the best dudes in the country. But Braden Collins going out and taking 5th place, taking out Cooper Roskowski in the blood round. Cooper Roskowski, I think we were talking about it, Matt. State finalist to not placing, and that just goes up. What the depth is at this freaking tournament, man, is no joke. What say you, Taylor?
Yeah, real tough tournament, and you have like somebody like Kendall Hoare, who you kind of bookend to probably get into the finals. He loses to Hunt, and Hunt went on a hell of a run. He had to beat Roskowski, and he had to beat Hoare just to get to the finals, and he gave Brown everything he wanted there in the finals match. Kind of something that impressed me though is Bechtold, the sophomore there. He wrestled Brown pretty tough in the semis. That kid's going to be somebody to watch out for, along with Hoare going into the future here with this weight class, and possibly when they move up to heavyweight, because I can't imagine they're going to hold 215 for that long. But two good young guys, sophomores that kind of made a good run here in this tournament.
Go ahead, Cass.
Yeah, Brown goes back to back here. Hunt kind of caught me by surprise with his quarterfinals win over Roskowski, and then beats Hoare. We all kind of, us three, I know, and I feel like most people had, Brown, Hoare, and Roskowski is the clear cut top 3 here. But Hunt had different plans, as did Braden Collins. Collins goes from pigtail to the 5th and 6th place match, and had a hell of a backside of that bracket in Braden Collins. But Brown 1-0. I thought, looking at the first 20 seconds of that match, I thought Brown was going to end it early. He shot in on a blast double right away, and he drove Hunt 3/4 away across that mat and out of bounds. And I thought, I was like, oh boy, he's setting the tone here. Because when Brown wants to, you see he's slick and he's calculated. Don't get it mistaken. He is as explosive as anyone. And you're going to see that at Penn State. His mom came up and introduced herself to me. She goes, I listen to you guys, and I hear you guys always say, is he a 97? Is he a heavyweight? And she goes, the plan, they told him they want to put 45 pounds on him and turn him into a heavyweight.
Ooh.
Oh, buddy. I'll tell you what. I was just going to say that, like, wait till that dude gets at the Penn State room with all those heavier guys.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy, he's going to be a monster. It's going to be an absolute monster.
Mikey Ruane, got to give him a shout out. Ruane just messaged into the chat on the YouTube saying, love you boys. Mikey Ruane always tunes into the show. Always good to talk to at the tournaments. Always comes and, talks to us. So congrats on a great year, Mike.
And, before we get to the last weight class here, I think that, that's a shout out for the whole wrestling community here, man. The whole WPIAL community, the whole Pennsylvania State wrestling community. You guys make what we do so much fun. Obviously, we take time away from our families to go and do this, to provide this for you guys. And we wouldn't do it if we didn't love it. And you guys certainly make it a lot of fun, very easy to do. So shout out to you guys, man. There's no other fans in the entire country, in the entire world for that matter, like Pennsylvania wrestling fans. So got to give you guys some love out there. All right, let's move it on to the last weight class of the evening, and that is 285 pounds. Cass, it was, for me, obviously I'm pretty close with Cam Dana. He goes out and finds his way onto the podium here in the 7th place position. But man, whoever got on the opposite side of Dean Bechtold was in a great spot, and that was Braden McConnell, and he took advantage of that, ripping to the finals. Had some tough ones to get there, but man, impressive stuff. Beat Scott 4-2 in the quarterfinals, then Rebuck 4-2 in the semifinals. But ultimately, Bechtold just too damn much. What say you, Kaz?
I mean, that was as dominative a heavyweight performance as I've seen since maybe like what, Thomas Haynes.
Yeah,
I was gonna say Feldman, but yeah, but Feldman's not PA, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 15-0, 15-0, 14-1, 29-second fall. I haven't seen a heavyweight perform like that since Thomas Haynes.
We lost you, Kaz.
You got me?
Yeah, go ahead and start at the beginning. After you said we haven't seen a heavyweight since Thomas Haynes that dominant. Go ahead.
Yeah, we haven't seen a heavyweight that dominant since Thomas Haynes, in my opinion. You pin in 30 seconds in the state finals, you're doing something right, especially at the big boy weight class. Credit to McConaughey getting there into the state finals, and Deanna getting himself on the podium. Had a really good career there at West A. I know you're happy to see that. Being a West A guy, alum there, Donnie. But yeah, Bechtold, man, class of this weight division without question. Where's he going? He's going to Lehigh? No,
I think
Bucknell.
Bucknell.
No,
I think.
another Bechtold at Bucknell. That was
His brother's at Bucknell, right?
Yeah.
We talked about this last week, and of course we all forget.
There's a lot of names, buddy.
And then is Dean Bechtold. He is going to
Lehigh.
Lehigh.
You're on it. There you go. First, you got to listen to your stomach there, Kaz. You got it.
2-time state champ. Yeah, he hasn't lost. He didn't lose since his sophomore year. Lost in the state finals his sophomore year to Kinney, and then hasn't lost since.
Yeah, and he started halfway through this season too. Yeah, I think he was hurt the first half of the year, and he comes in and just dominates the whole weight.
Yeah, he had 20. He was 24-0 going into the state tournament.
Yeah, I don't think he started wrestling until mid-January.
That's
He
crazy.
didn't look like it.
Didn't miss a beat, that's for sure. He looked pretty damn good. I think the last thing I have for this, man, I got to give a shout out to Braden McConaughey and Cam Dana. Those two have been wrestling each other for 3 years now, and they've really held down the heavyweight spots here in the WPIAL. Man, has it been a lot of fun watching those two go back and forth. So, as one of the best rivalries in the WPIAL kind of ends, I'm excited to see what happens next. But man, I loved watching those two battle the last couple of years. So, shout out to those two boys. All right, guys. I think that's it, man. I mean, another season in the books, dare I say?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you guys. I think, we should try to maybe catch up in the summer once or twice, whether that's before Super 32, before Fargo, try to do something along those lines. But man, another great season in the books, and I can't wait till next year. What say you, Matty T?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing these rosters coming out for Team WPIAL and Team PA for Dapper Dan or the Pittsburgh Wrestling Classic, whatever you refer to as. I think, hell of a season. These guys came out and competed every week. Major tournaments every weekend. These guys came out and wrestled. This weekend was a lot of fun. Watch some of these guys. Some went on runs. Some, their careers ended a little bit earlier than it probably should have. But Hershey's always a fun time. It's always a fun tournament. That Friday is that's an emotional day. Guys are, realizing their dreams of either, just getting on the podium or making it to the finals. So, but again, just a fun season. Looking forward to seeing some of these young guys who impressed this weekend, see what they do next year.
Yes.
Yep, you guys said it well. Congrats to all the state champs, all the medalists. Best of luck to everybody this off season with whatever tournaments trainings they have. It won't be long until we're doing the kickoff show, Donnie. I know you interview all the coaches, and it'll go quick.
Always does.
We're one golf season and one football season away. That's the way I look at it. And those will go fast. So Altogether, thought it was a really, really good year of wrestling, as it always is.
No doubt about it. And again, thank you guys out there for listening. We've been on the show for, I don't know, over 2 hours, but last one of the year, we had to make it a good one. Shout out to the sponsors, D1 Wrestling Club, Quest School of Wrestling, Reversal Health and Wellness, Fox Run Golf Course, Manor Valley Golf Course, and Pizza Bosa. We appreciate you guys for supporting us all year long. And again, go help out those sponsors. Go support those sponsors. Go check them out. Just great people. And thank you guys out there for another great season. We can't wait to see you guys next year. But for D Hall, for Kaz, and for Maddie Taylor, we'll see you guys.